Y'all, I can't stop thinking about this dream I had last night. Dude, that wasn't even a dream, that was a vision. I was fully awake. I've been thinking about it all day because I'm just like, why did I like know what my soul looked like, and I was able to like understand like my soul's movements and what they. I'm walking through a cemetery right now for no reason, and you probably can't even hear me because of the wind, and I'm struggling because I didn't drink water today. I just went and got a coffee, and I was sweating because I was walking so much, but the sun went down and I got cold. When I got married, my friend Stephanie, that's my sister, my soul sister, she actually, I'm like, I don't think I'm supposed to be walking right here. I had this little scrapbook at my little bachelorette event, and it was something like, what should we do together when we get married, or something like that. And she put drive through cemeteries, to be grateful to be alive, or something like that. And that always stuck with me. I never got over it. I never did it until I moved right by a cemetery, and now I do it all the time. It was super spooky and weird when Pokemon Go was such a big deal, because I was working like 3 jobs, and I would come and walk my dogs at like midnight, or even like 1 in the morning or 2, and the place would be packed. The cemetery would be packed with cars racing around in here, and I'm like, that's just weird to see a whole line of cars like driving around and stopping and driving and doing stuff in a cemetery at nighttime at like 1 in the morning. Anyway, what I was saying, I wrote about that vision on my blog, and maybe it won't be anything to anybody else, but I just, sometimes when something happens, I just know in my heart that I like have to write it down, and it's so great when I do, because I'd forget it otherwise. And there's been a couple times where I wrote down a dream or something, and then like a memory even, and I looked back later and I had no memory of it, so it was nice to have it and to read it again from a different perspective in a different place and be like, whoa, that was so needed at the time, or that was so much more intense than I even realized. You ever feel like, I feel like a huge thing in life is that we all just want to, maybe the biggest thing, like we all just want to feel, one of the biggest things in the human experience is that we all just want to feel like we have control, but like we never do, like ever. It's an illusion, and I think a lot of us spend a lot of time chasing that illusion. It's crazy to me. I didn't bring my mermaid straw, but Mugshots has the plant-made straws. I'm so grateful for that. Not just because I don't feel guilt, but because I like to play this game when I'm out in public. It's called, Are They Playing Pokemon Go? Hi. Or am I about to get abducted? That was a sweet little old man. But the way he was driving so slow, and he like swerved his car over to my side of the road and slowed down. Sir, you may not. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, it's such a huge part of the human experience to maintain the illusion of control. in everything we do, like, we try to control, like, how we look, how we feel, how we spend our time, what we do, like, I mean, that's necessary, but we all just want to feel like we have some kind of control over everything. We never really do. It's because there's so many things that we can't control, like time and tragedy, crisis, other people, death. This is so pretty. Look at the sienna. Like, it's almost like, is it easier when we finally accept that we don't have control? Is it easier for those people, like, who know that, like, everything is basically out of our hands and we can just, like, try, like, we have free will and we can try to control certain things or try to do things and hope that it goes a certain way, but ultimately we know that we don't have control. But then you have those other people who are, like, maintaining the illusion that you have control is a lot easier for you. It's kind of like how, like, it's so freeing for me to know that, like, I don't know it all. I don't know anything. Like, nothing really. Like, the things I do know is even, like, questionable and could change, right? But then there's those people who firmly believe that they know it all, or they at least act like they know it all, and that makes them feel safe and secure, to feel like they know it all and they're right. And I'm not saying these people are terrible, I'm saying, like, feeling like they really know everything and feeling like they have control, that's what makes them feel safe. But to me, knowing that I don't have control and knowing that I really don't know it all, is that there's, like, so much I don't know. That's freeing to me and makes me feel safe. I don't know if that makes sense. I was thinking about this because I was thinking about how, like, when I was walking, I took a bunch of videos to, like, edit, like, if I end up posting this, and I do that all the time. I just hoard photos and videos, and I'll, like, sit in my bed and edit them for hours. It's therapeutic for me. And I was thinking, like, why do I like that? Is it because a huge thing is I really like to manipulate videos, like the time, like speed them up, slow them down, put them at exactly the right speed, or speed up part of it and then slow down another part of it, or delete part of it that's just nothing I need, and then, like, save, like, the best parts of it, or, like, editing photos, like, with, like, overlays or underlays, is that a thing? With other photos and different things, like, why do I like that? And then I thought maybe it's because through manipulating videos, I can, like, feel like I have control. I can slow down or speed up time, actually, in the video. I wonder if that's why I like it. I mean, it's art, really. It's an art thing, and I like to create and modify things, you know, like, there's nothing I can find that I don't want to put a coat of paint on. But and then with photos, it's like, it's nice to have control over, like, how bright it is, or the contrast, or, like, the highlights, the lowlights, the clarity, and it's frustrating when you don't have control, like, when you try to, like, zoom in and it's blurry and you can't fix that. That's frustrating, right? Like, I was taking a video of a squirrel earlier, and I was frustrated that I wouldn't be more clear. Or on my old phone, it was so frustrating. Nothing would ever go as I wanted it to. It was the worst. Or photos and videos would disappear a lot. They just wouldn't save and they would disappear. That was so frustrating, to have zero control. It's so frustrating for me to not have control with devices. And that hair dye on my hand. devices, technology. I hate it so much. Like, I hate, like, why am I out here in the rain? I don't want to start walking either because I'm under a tree. Start walking, I'm going to get wet, but what if it doesn't slow down? I'm cold. I'm just not ready to go back home yet, and I don't have a porch, so I'm not ready to go back home yet because I got 3 hungry dogs that have been restless all day, and I needed a break. I needed to go ship some stuff and handle some stuff and take a minute to not. That's another thing I've been trying to control. I was also thinking that I see my car as my home, and I think it's because I have a sense of control with it. Like, I can take it wherever I want. I can, like, just sit in it somewhere or whatever. I'm getting wet now. Eventually I'll have to use the bathroom and I will have to go. But I don't even know what I was saying. Oh, I've noticed that I really like to escape sometimes, and I kept thinking, like, that I was, like, a bad person for not wanting to, be with my pets all the time. And this is how people probably feel with kids, but on a whole other level, because it's like, stay-at-home moms, oh man, it's like you never have a moment where someone's not asking something of you or needing something from you. That is exhausting. Like, that's really exhausting to never have a moment where someone's not demanding something of you. And even if they're not asking, even if they're literally asleep, which my dogs don't sleep through the night, none of them do. The cat doesn't either. When they do, it's like one of them, and it's like such a blessing, and I'm so grateful. But I have so much respect for parents that stay home, because, and I'm gonna be one, but it's just, you literally never get a moment to yourself. Like, I get so frustrated when I can't even use the bathroom. Like, I make sure everyone has had playtime and food and snacks and water and love and affection from me and excitement and the outdoors, and I'll do all that. And then the minute that I sit on the toilet to use the bathroom, like, my bladder is crazy. But, like, the minute I sit down, so I'm, like, struggling to get everything out because of, like, my bladder or whatever. It doesn't all come out at one time. It's like a trickle. But, and it's constant. But the minute I sit down, somebody's crying for me. Somebody's peeing on the ground. Somebody's throwing up. Somebody needs me. And someone is unsatisfied that they've not eaten their dinner and it's like 10 a.m. Or like 2. Or they did eat already. They did eat dinner. And then I'm like, okay, let me take 1 minute to myself. Let me take 1 sip of water, and someone needs me. And I'm like, my gosh. And it's fully, I committed to this. It's fully my fault. But dogs are easy. You can put dogs in their crate or shut the door and leave and do what I'm doing right now. Can't do that with a kid. So I really, really respect people who, or like teachers or people in childcare. Like, you can't get away. It was so stressful for me to work with like a pack of teenagers at the Wilderness Treatment Center because the breaks were slim, and it was really just finding somewhere to use the bathroom and then getting back to work. Even when you were asleep, it's like there might be a runaway or somebody acting up. So anyway, I don't know why I'm out here talking into this camera. It's because I didn't want to go home. I just needed a moment before I start the rest of my day, the night actually, but I still have a lot to do, so it feels like a whole day is ahead of me. But is that Friday night as an adult, thinking about all the things you need to do before another week sneaks up? It's practically here. Monday's practically here, so. And if you think about it, it's, February's over. I have a bunch of half-written posts about, Black History Month. February's over. I have stuff from last summer that never got posted or edited. You know what's also really weird about living near a cemetery is that all the flowers that people put out here that are fake, I think that's all of them that I can see right now, but they fly around. So sometimes you'll be driving down the road and there'll be flowers everywhere in the street. Bouquets just rolling by like tumbleweeds or just sitting in the road. It's so crazy. Or like right now there's a bunch of stuff that I'm seeing. I love this cemetery. It's so beautiful. Look. So pretty. I don't know why it just is. I'm about to walk in the rain and go home. I just can't believe how fast time is going. Like, one thing that has made it so easy for me to measure time, like, I think school was like the measurement of time most of my life, but the other thing is that, Rufus, I don't know why I love that name. The adoption process. That big time. Okay, when I look back at my life, I measure time by where I lived because I moved several times, and what schools I went to because I moved schools, and the grades that I was in. So school was a big measurement. Oh, this is so cute. They did Christmas decorations. Look at it. It's beautiful. They put little Santas. Look at these Santas. Oh, they're so beautiful. Are those candles? How did they keep them? I guess it's not been off. That's so beautiful. I love that. So school was the way that I measured. And then after school, and it sort of overlapped, was jobs. And I've had a lot of jobs. Some were long-term and a lot were short-term. And a lot were side gigs. So I measure time by that. And the other thing, I don't know if everyone does this, but the other thing is relationships. Who was my best friend, who most of the time ended up my boyfriend, or whatever, but, relationships, especially the long ones, or a lot of them were friendships. That's how I track my life. I look back at where I was working, where I was in the education situation, who was my best friend, who was I in love with, and spiritual stuff too, like where I was at in my spiritual journey as well. It's so strange, but I've been liking being cold lately because I get a lot of anxiety and it makes me so sick. I have stomach stuff too, but sometimes it's both, like the anxiety is causing the stomach or it's like a cycle. But being cold totally calms my stomach down. I learned this, I learned one of the loves in my life, who I was with for several years, sort of, in a way, was one of my best friends, like, in college. And it was really hard on me recently because he died, and it was in the news. And everyone was talking about it, and I even had a job, a side gig, and someone was talking about it, and like I don't know these people and they didn't know him, and it just like it was really hard for me to process because the way that we got together and were together and things that happened when it was over, our little angel, I'm gonna cry. Baby. Life is short, y'all. Nothing is promised. Anyway, that relationship was huge for my life. Like, it was like big deal. Like, everything that happened before, during, and after was a monumental for me. Profound. Can't even get into it. Anyway, so like, I was at my job and someone was talking about it, and I was like, oh yeah, like, that was my best friend. Like, we dated, and I loved him so much. Anyway, I'm going the wrong way. Anyway, what I was saying was that I remember when we first got together, there were various reasons why either one of us would be sick, but that's one of the things I love so much, is that we took care of each other. Weird and sad in some ways, but like, something he taught me was to expose my stomach, like with the fan on, and I've always done that ever since then, and now I even have my own version. And like the other day, for example, like my stomach was out, I was laid down, and I don't know what happened. It was completely unexpected. It only lasted a day. It was bad though. But my stomach was out. But I had a blanket like over my shoulders and chest because I don't want to freeze to death. But and so I had the overhead fan and like an oscillating fan blowing on my stomach, and then my my little fan that I keep by my bed that I like to blow on my face while I'm sleeping. It was on my face, and it helped so much. The other thing is ginger capsules. I take those all day, every day, basically, and it helps so much. But anyway, measuring time by relationships, and I look back at things that every person taught me in my life, in every phase of life. Honestly, life is just wild, y'all. Wild, rowdy, beautiful, incomprehensible. But the adoption journey has made me measure time in a whole new way, because I keep thinking I'm going to cut through this neighborhood, because I've cut through the neighborhood to come into the cemetery before, but I can't seem to get over there. I'm just going around in a circle. Oh well. The bladder says it's time to be inside the house now. Oh, and the sun's coming out a little bit. That's so nice. So anyway. So stressful though, because looking at how a child grows up so fast, and I kept waiting every year to bring him home, and it was like, he's going to be home by the end of this year, he's going to be home by the end of this year, he's going to be home by the end of this year, he'll be here by Thanksgiving, he'll be here by Christmas. Thinking about like his clothing size and being prepared to have him in the house, thinking about like what kind of toys he would like, or what kind of educational materials would be good for his age. Thinking about, oh yes, I hope you can see this rainbow, it's so beautiful. Yes, look at it, it's gorgeous. Oh, it's not even been raining that long, that's so pretty. Thank you, God. Shooting out of the church. Yes, Lord. So pretty. I love it so much. Oh, I don't know if you can see it, it's going all the way around, look. Can you see it? I can't even tell if it's so beautiful. Thank you, God. I knew I needed this today. I knew I needed it so much. It's so pretty. Oh, I'm going to stop this video and take No. I need a picture. I can use a screenshot. Oh. Every time I venture out and just like go with the flow, so rewarding, so rewarding. So like thinking about his bones and his condition, and thinking about it's going to be hard for him to come home in the winter because he's never experienced winter before. It's going to be so painful because he has said that it's painful at night now. And he's on the equator, and because it gets cold at night, but it's not that cold, but it's cold. It's really not cold at all, but I'm probably thinking that because when I am there. I'm sleeping in an enclosed room without windows or any air coming in because there's no AC or fans or electricity, and can't leave the windows open because of mosquitoes. So it's like trapped air. It's like hot. God, please don't let my phone be damaged by this moisture. So, this is a Motorola Z4, and it's not paid for. I'm trying to be so nice with it, but it's been so nice to have. I had a really old Samsung before this, and nothing worked for like years. And I waited so long to have this phone. I really need to take care of it. Break out a bag of rice. So, thinking about the seasons or what's happening, like, it would be really weird to come home around Halloween time because, like, people have, like, weird dead bodies in their yard and stuff. Or thinking about, starting school at different times of the year, or, like, I think it would be really hard to have medical treatment and surgeries and stuff in the winter. I think that would be brutal. Not that summer's any easier if you're hot, but he's used to being hot. So, or in the summer, I would be like, oh, this is so great, like, we could do a lot of fun stuff, like swimming, and you could go to the beach, and, I mean, certain things that happen every year, like, if I go to the beach with my family, or if I, why is there never a sidewalk when I need one? Totally, thought I was recording for like 20 minutes, and I wasn't, so this makes no sense, my apologies, but the last thing I was saying, it better have recorded that rainbow. The last thing I was saying was thinking about different seasons and my son coming home. Like, I think it would be hard to start medical treatment in the winter, or not that it would start right away, but I just think, I'm always thinking, will it be stressful to come home at Christmas and meet all the family and have all this stuff going on, or will it be nice because there's like people being nice to you and food and gifts and stuff. I don't know. So I'm always thinking about stuff like that. And then he's not come home. And we actually adopted him. Yesterday was the 1-year anniversary of adopting him in Uganda. And maybe I'm confusing things because it's been 6 years, over 6 years now. I think almost 6.5, but since we met him. But I really thought, I'm not gonna go that way. I really thought after we adopted him, we were gonna come pick him up in a couple months, and I'm pretty sure we were told that by multiple people in country and in here, and that wasn't the case. And that kind of thing has happened so many times that it's just like really reaffirmed the fact that I have no control over anything, and it doesn't even matter what I do. I can't make that kind of difference like I think I can. But it has allowed me to focus on what I can control and to focus so much on myself, like my healing, my spiritual journey, my situation, my health, like mental health, like everything, because every single thing about me is going to affect this child, and every single thing about my life is going to overlap onto him. So any dysfunction or weakness will affect him, and I just take it so seriously, like the responsibility over another human life, but a human life who has really suffered and who has been through things that I can't even speak out loud, and I never will. But the responsibility of that human life, that's not small. That's probably the biggest thing I'll ever do. So, and it's a lifelong commitment. It's not like the adoption journey is nothing. The the family journey is everything, and little things like I've isolated a lot during this journey, and I want to start talking again. It's hard because I can't share a lot, and I can't share everything with everyone, and I won't, but like, I want to start sharing. That's why I thought about it. I've prayed about it so much, and I'm really planning and in the process of renewing certain relationships where we each had so many responsibilities we like didn't have time for each other. And I'm open to new friendships and relationships too, of all types, but little things, that's what I'm trying to say, is that's why I'm talking to a camera right now for a half hour. But because I need to get it out sometimes, and sometimes there's not anyone to get it out to, or I don't feel comfortable. I mean, I can't just like go find a friend and monologue to them for an hour, anything that comes out of my mouth. And most of the time, a lot of my friends want my help, and I want to help them, and I want to hear how their life is going first, because there's so much that I can't talk about or don't want to. So, the rainbow's gone, y'all. It's just clouds. So, what I was going to say is little things like, there's little things that I didn't expect. Like, I've heard so many adoption journeys, and I've not really known anybody or really read about or heard anybody that had my situation where I met him, and I like was like, why am I like drawn to this kid and feel like he's mine? Like, that's never happened in mission work, or there might be like one kid who stands out, or who like we kind of have like a little soul connection for a minute, or there's like the one kid who's like my favorite, but I like try not to show it, type of thing. That happens everywhere, but or certain kids that just like me a lot more than the other kids, whatever. But that always happened, and it's just like, oh, like that's my little favorite one right there, but whatever. But and I wasn't in a position to adopt or anything either. It was random. I was totally not in any way, shape, or form in a position. But God's been working on it. 6 long but fast years. So what I was saying is meeting him and saying, why is this the situation? And then like, God, is this happening? And God put on my heart, that's your son. And there was actually another one as well who has since passed. We weren't able to help him. And I firmly believe that interference of other people for selfish reasons and greed. I can't even. Let's leave it there. But the bond that I have with my son, I never could have imagined it. There's an easy peace when we're around each other. Like, I've known so many adoption stories of like the struggle of bonding, and the child, you're a stranger, the child does not know you. Of course they're going to be upset and have all kinds of behaviors and be fighting it or be waiting for you to leave them. And I'm not saying my kid's not going to do every single bit of that when he comes home, but like, the fact that he accepted me immediately. I don't think I've told anyone this, but I felt the first day I met him that he was mine. And it didn't make any sense. And I prayed that night, can you just like show me if he's my son, because this doesn't make any sense. And the next morning, someone knocks on my door. He barely speaks English. Really didn't at all at that time, and says, "Good morning, mommy." Oh man, I can't even talk about it. And then seeing him in the airport, there was so much stress going on, and it was just like, this is not what this is about. Like, this is just get out of the way. I want to float. Like, where's my kid? And the way that we squeezed each other when we first saw each other, that was powerful. And he said, "Mommy, how are you?" Oh, I can't even. And leaving him multiple times. Like, can you imagine loving someone so much and then you finally get to see him after like 5 years, and people are always like, "How often have you visited him?" And it's like, how often I've had $1,000 to spare, plus more. But seeing him after 5 years, and the connection was stronger than ever, and he loved me, and I loved him, and we have a lot in common. Cameras, photography, capturing things, catch a video, mommy. Art, drawing, music, writing, reading, and just like, we have a similar energy. Like, we're both very like chill and laid back about most things. Then we get little bursts of chaotic energy and passion. It's crazy. And funny, the kid is so funny. He's so funny. Like, we don't have anything in common of our lives. Nothing. Except, I guess, some parts of the human experience that are universal. But he's so funny. And we get each other. Like, we can literally have a moment, a joke, whatever. It doesn't need words or language at all. It's like, it's a soul comedy. I don't even know how to explain it. I needed to get out of the house today and talk about this, because my brain has been spinning so rapidly. My thoughts have been going so fast I can't even process them. And when I try to slow down, I have deep visions that I then have to spend time thinking about. Life is wild, y'all. A beautiful, wild ride. And I have so many suspicions about that vision that I can't even say out loud. We'll see. We will see. God is the funniest thing, let me tell you. He is the funniest thing. Okay. Can't pop a squat in the cemetery. Anyway, let me get off here so I can cross the street without getting hurt. I'm headed home to the mongrels now. The hungry beasts. It's time for the cool down, the nightly routine. Everyone gotta get fed. Do some cleanup. Then when everyone else has got a full belly and relaxed, I can do a ton of work. There's always so much work to do. Anyway, I think there's an important balance. Stephanie, will you ever stop talking about the human experience? Nah. There's such an important balance in life between aloneness and community. It's crazy. Like, And I look around and I see a lot of people that seem to be doing too much of one or the other. An example for me, too much aloneness. I'm zoomed in on my face because I don't want to capture these other people that are walking their dogs. Rude. I would be rude is what I'm saying. But anyway. Trying to walk faster, but they're too quick. Have you ever known people, and I've been this person, they're always around other people because they don't want to be with themselves. Other people are with themselves all the time because they don't want to be around other people. So hard to find the right balance. I personally really love and cherish those moments of aloneness that are like serene. But, I mean, not totally alone because I always feel God's presence, but happiness is only real when shared. Am I right? Alexander Supertramp. Eunice Amateur Tramp. So, I can't wait to get home, snuggle my dogs, play with them. They have no reason to love me that much. No reason. They really don't. The love that they show is not, it's not normal. It's not normal. They have every reason to hate me. And they'd be sick of me. And I mean, even when they get frustrated, it's so small. Small, tiny, tiny, small frustration. I literally have, I don't know about literally, but a million, probably is, a million videos and YouTube edited videos and recorded videos and recorded videos that I've been needing to post, but I never post them for years. We're talking over 10 years now. Because I convinced myself that nobody needs to hear what I have to say, or that I'm embarrassed about things, or I don't even like posting selfies because it's like only vain people post selfies, and it's like that's not true. Well, I don't want to be vain though, but still, it doesn't. There's nothing wrong with posting a picture of your face so people can see you. Anyway, so I've decided this year to start posting more of me in an effort to gain community. Because if I'm not gaining community, why am I on the internet so much? You know what I'm saying? If I'm not a part of something, why am I doing this? I'm not gonna cross right there. Anyway, so I hope you have a great weekend. This won't be posted on time, but whenever it is, if it is, as I just said, I hope you have a great weekend, a great week, a great day, a blessed day. I pray you heal more than you ever imagined. I pray that you are filled with light, brimming with light, to the point that it spills over onto everyone you touch, everyone you meet. And I pray that we all ascend like my vision. Yes, God, we all ascend rapidly, and we ascend in connected energy with the other souls we're supposed to ascend with. I gotta cross the street and not get killed. Have a great day.